Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today. A Tennessee woman was sentenced to 8 years in prison for looking to hire a hitman to kill the fiancé of a hiking friend that she met on the online dating site Match.com.
New at 11, the latest in a case of a Knoxville woman accused of turning to the dark web to hire a hitman. Authorities say she was looking to kill the wife of a man she met on the dating site Match.com. Authorities arrested Melody Sasser on May 18th. Good evening and thank you for watching The Night Beat. I'm John Becker. 10 News reporter Maria Guzman walks us through what we know about this case tonight.
From a dating app to a hitless website.
When they get caught, it's indisputable because it's in writing and it traces back to them.
Court documents show Melody Sasser placed an order for murder on a dark website called Online Killers Market after she learned the man she met on Match.com was engaged to another woman. Homeland Security acquired screenshots from the website showing her request for murder was placed in January. One screenshot read, "It needs to seem random or an accident. Don't want a long investigation," for a price of more than $9,000. She had made an initial payment using a Bitcoin ATM machine days before her initial murder order.
Looking online for a hitman, the FBI would say, yeah, what do you want? And then allow her to lead them through the steps of what she desired.
Sasser used a workout app called Strava to track the woman's whereabouts. The app lets users share their physical activity with others.
They see the routes you run and the routes are evident. I mean, you can see it.
Sasser used this to her advantage. In March, she wrote on the website, she worked from home and went for a 2-mile walk by herself.
Begin to build a profile and a pattern of when you spend your time there. So you can imagine that's pretty easy. Wouldn't be hard.
That was Maria Guzman reporting, and that suspect is set to appear in federal court on Thursday.
Now, in this alleged incident that took place in Knoxville, Tennessee, Melody Sasser met David Wallace on the dating app Match.com, and as they began to form a relationship, they became hiking friends. Now, as they became hiking friends, Melody Sasser and David Wallace would go on various hikes in different areas and go hiking. And as David Wallace got involved with Melody Sasser, he made it clear that he had a girlfriend who was about to become his fiancée. And as he was getting involved with Melody Sasser and going on these hikes, he eventually told Melody Sasser that he had moved to Alabama with his wife, who was his fiancée, and had gotten engaged, and that's where the trouble began in 2022. Now, in 2022, after David Wallace said that he was getting engaged to his girlfriend and she had become his fiancée, this is where Melody Sasser got angry and responded by allegedly saying, "I hope you both fall off a cliff and die." And then this is where Melody Sasser then started participating in antisocial behavior, like traveling to his Alabama home and going to his home unannounced. And this is where she started participating in behaviors like making threatening phone calls, keying his car, and other antisocial behaviors such as stalking him through a fitness app. Now, this whole situation began to further escalate when Melody Sasser decided to go to the dark web and a website known as the Online Killers Market to hire a hitman to murder David Wallace's fiancée. And after going out and getting pictures of the fiancée, who then became his wife, this is where she looked to make this deal with this hitman to make this contract, and sent this hitman $10,000 in cryptocurrency, but what she didn't know was that the website was a scam, and basically she got scammed out of $10,000 waiting for this job to be completed. But eventually what happened was federal authorities then found out about her plans to have the David Wallace's wife murdered, and eventually wound up arresting her and charging her with using interstate commerce facilities for the commission of murder, and put her on trial for looking to participate in using this website to go out here and hire this hitman. And after being prosecuted for this crime, Melody Sasser basically went from being a woman who was free to winding up being sentenced for 8 years in prison, and also is now going to face again this long sentence in prison, and will, after she does the sentence, will be put on supervised release. Now, the U.S. Attorney's Office sees the actions of Melody Sasser as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the actions Melody Sasser was convicted for as related to this crime, it definitely fits the pattern and profile for feminist indoctrinated women that I talk about in my book, The Woman Crisis. And it also fits the pattern of behavior I talk about as related to cyber simps in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And while that book basically focuses on male cyber simps, this is a rare case of a female cyber simp. And this female cyber simp basically wound up getting involved with this man on online dating, and that should have been a red flag for anyone, because usually the people who do online dating are doing it for a reason, and the reason they're doing it is because these people really are lacking the social skills to be able to function in social situations and make connections with real people in real life. Now, usually with regular people who are socially right, what they do is they go out here and meet people, and they meet people in real world situations, and in many cases they get referred to other people, and those people make personal connections with each other as related to their interests. Now, Melody Sasser basically showed me that there was some serious issues with her because she was using online dating, and usually when people go on online dating, again, it's because they have serious character flaws. I go in depth on that in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, and they go online because they have serious issues as related to being able to be social with other people, and that basically makes it where people look at them as something wrong with them, and clearly there had to be something wrong with Melody Sasser as related to her behavior, and that foundation really started with her just going on online dating. And this is what David Wallace didn't really know about. He was going on online dating, and I find that to be quite suspect, that he was going on online dating and he had a girlfriend, because again, healthy men don't need to go on online dating. They can easily find partners by getting referred by friends and family. But this guy was going on online dating and looking for a hiking buddy. Now, that whole hiking buddy story to me was complete BS, because basically when it comes to a guy, if he's going on online dating, he's basically going there because he's looking for easy sexual access, and he's looking for women to basically go out here and take them somewhere where they can drop the skid mark jockey thong, and he can put the carbon rod in the atomic waste reactor and be able to participate in get a taste of the atomic waste from a special place as he's having easy casual sex with these women. And possibly, well, this guy says he never had a sexual relationship with this woman. I'm going to have to call BS on that, because men don't want to be friends with any woman. No, usually when it comes to men are looking to go out here and look to get sexual access with women, especially if they're going to a place like online dating. And when it came to David Wallace, he says he wasn't involved with this woman as related to a sexual relationship, but I believe that something had to have been going on for this woman to get in her emotions. Now, this woman basically had been a hiking buddy with this dude, and what she was looking to do, like many female simps do, is look to use the friend zone to basically be a gateway into a relationship. And I talk about this in The Woman Crisis. And with these kinds of women, what they like to do is go out here and when they get involved with a man, look to build a world around that man. And I believe that it was the world that this woman, Melody Sasser, built around David Wallace. This is the thing that led to her having this whole delusional idea that she could basically turn this into a relationship. This was the covert contract she was hoping that would come out of them being hiking buddies. She was hoping that she could turn the hiking buddy into a boyfriend, and that should have been an indicator to David Wallace. Again, you're going on a Match.com website. Again, this is an online dating website, and while the person may say they want to be your friend, what they want to do again is create a covert contract, and create the covert contract where they believe that if they show you how good a friend they are, eventually this can turn into a romantic relationship. And that's what I believe Melody Sasser believed that she could do. She basically believed that she could go out here and eventually show this guy what a great woman she is as related to going on these hiking trips, and basically told him about everything in her life, possibly on these hiking trips. And I possibly believe that he did get them draws, but the whole thing was that she didn't understand that this guy basically wasn't interested in a relationship. Basically, he had a girlfriend, and he basically had this woman as a side piece, because again, no man is going hiking with a friend. No man ain't going out here hiking with a friend. No, he's looking to go get him some of them draws and have that on the side. And that's what I believe. Again, this is not what's in the reports. This is my own personal observation. And after she found out that he basically wasn't going to have a relationship with her, this is where Melody Sasser basically wound up losing it. And after she wound up having her rose-colored reality as related to this relationship shattered, this is where Melody Sasser, I believe, basically wound up losing it. And as she wound up losing it, this is where she started to participate in these antisocial behaviors. Antisocial behaviors that really remind me of the movie Fatal Attraction, where the character of Alex basically wound up participating in a series of antisocial behaviors after the character that Alex, played by Glenn Close, had found out she was going to be rejected by the Michael Douglas character. Now, this movie is very old, and you guys can check it out on Tubi if it's there, but Fatal Attraction basically showed what can happen if a woman doesn't get what she wants as related to covert contracts with a dude in a side piece situation. What she can do is basically make your life miserable, and that's what Melody Sasser wanted to do when she heard about him getting engaged, because she wanted to be the one who would be engaged. And again, this shows how much of a simp this guy is, because he basically told a woman he was getting engaged. And that's one thing you definitely don't do with another woman, is tell her that you're going to be engaged to another woman, because women are naturally jealous, women are naturally competitive, and when they hear somebody is going to win and it's not them, that's what makes them lose it. And in the case of Melody Sasser, once she heard that she wasn't going to get the ring after going out on all of these hikes and investing her time, this is where she went from a woman who was basically desperate to find a man in the social marketplace and desperate to find a relationship in her late 40s to basically turning into a woman who basically was upset and losing it as related to reality. And as her rose-colored reality got shattered and turned into real reality, that's where Melody Sasser started to participate in antisocial behavior, as she went out and traveled from Tennessee to Alabama to David Wallace's home unannounced. And that basically was to send a message that she was still in the life, and send a message to the wife that she basically wasn't going anywhere. That's the message she wanted to send. And as she sent that message, she escalated her behavior with alleged antisocial behaviors such as threatening phone calls and keying up the car. All of this because she had still had basically a spiritual attachment to this man, with the spirit and DNA of that man if they did have sexual relations, and still had emotional feelings for this man as related to the covert contract that was not enforced. And since that covert contract wasn't enforced, she wanted to make him pay, and wanted to make him pay by making him miserable by staying and keeping company, because if she couldn't have the relationship she wanted with David Wallace, she figured she would go out here and have a relationship where she would be an adversary, and she would have this relationship where she wanted to be this adversary. And this is where she wound up making all of these threatening phone calls, and even stalked this man and his wife through a fitness app on their watches. I mean, this tech-savvy woman basically used technology to terrorize this couple, and further got so angry about this man doing her dirty, as she believed, as related to her covert contract of hopefully turning a friendship into a relationship, and escalated things to the point where she started going to the dark web. Again, a place where antisocial people look to participate in antisocial criminal behavior. And this is where Melody Sasser went from participating in crimes in the real world to looking to participate in a crime in cyberspace that violated federal law, because going on the dark web to go to sites like Online Killers Market to hire a hitman, this basically violates federal law as related to interstate commerce. And basically, she was using interstate commerce to go out here and create an illegal contract for a crime. And she basically looked to hire a hitman to kill David Wallace's fiancée. And as she looked to do this, she looked to go out here and pay $10,000 in cryptocurrency, pay this $10,000 in cryptocurrency to have this woman murdered, because she wanted to basically hurt David Wallace, wanted to hurt him, because when it comes to women, women are emotional, and because women are emotional, they basically want to hurt a man by taking away things because they feel like something was taken away from them. And that's what happened here as related to this woman, Melody Sasser, as related to the crime that she committed. She wanted to make this man pay for not giving her dream of having a relationship, because she's 48 years old, so she was 44, and on the road to bust downtown, on the road to being where she was undateable. And this man was her last chance, and with her last chance lost, she wanted to just go out and give up as related to things and make this man pay and suffer. But sadly, her efforts to make this man pay wound up leading to her costing her one of the most important intangibles of a woman's life, which is her freedom. It cost this woman her freedom because she thought, oh, since I have no chances as related to a relationship, I have no chances to ever find another man. This woman felt like she had nothing to lose, and that's why she hired this hitman on the dark web. Unfortunately, that whole plan basically fell apart because that dark web was basically a group of scammers looking to get some easy money. This was a group of scammers looking to get some easy cash, and they wound up getting her cash, and she sat there for months looking to try to find a way to enforce this illegal agreement. However, what happened was that the federal government, the U.S. Attorney's Office, soon found out about this woman making this illegal contract, possibly from the husband of David Wallace. And as David Wallace found out about this is what led to her being arrested by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And this woman went out and wound up being put on trial, sentenced to 8 years in prison, all because she was upset that this whole plan of going on online dating wound up failing. And this is the kind of dysfunctional behavior that those cyber simps participate in, because cyber simps don't live in the real world. No, these socially awkward people, yes, they're good with technology, but they're not good with people, because any smart person who knows how to socialize does not even think about going online. No, they know that there's only people who are online are losers. And again, when you go online, the people there, they're socially awkward, and they don't really understand how to look at things critically and hear things like, oh, this guy wants a hiking buddy, and know that that guy is full of it. Because again, anybody who's going out with a man and they find out that man has a girlfriend, what they do is charge that man to the game, because they basically know that that guy isn't really interested in a really serious relationship. No, if a guy is talking about he's looking to be a hiking buddy, this guy is basically looking to have a side piece, and have a side piece where he's looking for something on the side. He's not looking for anything serious, because if he's telling you he's got a girlfriend and he's looking to go out with you, that's a red flag right there. But this woman couldn't read signs, and couldn't read signs at all. And I believe that this woman was extremely desperate. I believe that she was extremely desperate, and she was looking to settle for this dude, looking to try to settle for this dude, but her looking to settle put her in a situation where she wasted even more time out of her life. And that's the whole thing about feminist indoctrinated women. Because they were taught that they have all the time in the world, they wind up wasting a lot of time. And this woman wound up wasting a lot of time on a guy who already had a woman, already wasted that time on a woman she should have charged, and a man that she should have charged to the game. Because if that man already got a woman, that right there tells you to leave that man alone. But this woman thought she could take that woman from that man. She thought she could compete like that, but that's not how a healthy woman competes. No, a healthy woman competes in the social marketplace by presenting her values and character to a man first. But this woman showed how she would compromise her values and character by looking to get involved with a man who was already in a relationship, and that put her on this road as she got in her feelings about this man to start thinking about participating first in antisocial behavior, then participating in criminal behavior. This woman wound up putting herself in a situation where she was never going to win, because this man already was committed to another woman and had no interest in her at all, but she still continued to think that she could take this man away. Now this is something feminist indoctrinated women get from Madison Avenue in Hollywood, as related to what they have seen in soap operas, romance novels, and TV shows. But it's something that never happens. No, the man is going to stay with the main woman, and if he's got you as a side piece, you gonna be on the side. That's where you gonna be. But this woman didn't understand this and continued to escalate her behavior to criminal behavior, and that criminal behavior took her to the dark web, looking for a hitman, to take this other woman's life instead of getting on with her own. Now, a healthy woman, when she hears first, again, about online dating, she ain't even bothering with that, because smart women always say, look, I'm going to go get a referral from friends and family as related to a dude, because that dude has been vetted. That dude has been vetted by my friends and family, and we can verify things like if this man has a job, if this man has a clean record, if this man has a good reputation. And that basically shows people that this person is someone you would want to date. That's what you want to do. Get referrals from friends and family, not deal with online dating, because the only people on online dating are bums and losers, and the only people there are not worth your time. That's what smart women understand, and they wouldn't have wasted their time in a place like that in the first place. And when it comes to this woman, again, because she didn't have those social skills, she didn't know when to charge someone to the game, and you charge them to the game. Once they say, oh, I got a girlfriend, okay, that's when you just put a period at the end of things, because if you're going on a date and checking for a guy and he says he's got a woman, that's when you as a woman, just like a man, gotta be able to put the period at the end of things and let this dude go on about his business. That's what healthy people do in any sort of social situation, because if this guy is coming in dirty, if this guy is coming in raggedy, then you leave him right where you find him. You don't try to get into a competition to take a man that's already been taken. No, you take yourself out of the situation. And sadly, because this woman didn't take herself out of the situation, Melody Sasser has gone from being a free woman to a woman who will now be doing the next 8 years in prison, and is basically going to do those next 8 years in prison with Bertha, Big Betty, Big Lou, and Ms. Marshmallow. And as she's there, she's going to be traded over spades games for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, Taster's Choice coffee, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand orange drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand fruit punch, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand chocolate chip cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand ginger snaps, off-brand Hunt's off-brand lemon cookies, Hunt snack pack puddings, hot and sour pickles, hot and sour beef, tuna and chicken, and Fritos chips and prison chips. And as she's basically traded for these items, then she's basically gonna be being filled and having to lick up the front side and the back side, and Miss Marshmallow's gonna come in with the extra juicy sauce, and this woman will realize that she embarrassed her, ruined her whole life, because even if she gets out of prison at about maybe 56 years old, she's definitely going to be on the road to bust downtown and missing out on the best of life. I mean, missing out on the best of life, because this woman threw away her last little bit of time on a loser of a man, and because she threw away the last of her years on the loser of a man, she's going to be in bust downtown lamenting the one who got away, and lamenting the time she spent on online dating, because this is the place where she went from being a woman to winding up a cyber simp woman in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about identifying predators online as related to places like online dating and why you shouldn't participate in online dating, you can pick up my book Stop Simping in Cyberspace on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format, and you can find that book at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And that book will teach you to identify all sorts of online predators online and how to avoid those predators. And in addition to that book, you can pick up my other book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format, and that book will teach you all about why so many women like Melody Sasser are going to places like online dating, and why they're not being able to find love as related to relationships with men. Now, I also talk about this in another book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, and that book you can find at all those online booksellers I mentioned as well. And if you want to see me make more videos about women in crisis or the season of the simp, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback at e-readers, Isis, Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Get your copy of Isis, Dark Incubus in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.